Alright, Shalom. It's the brother Gamal Yala out of GMS ATL, giving all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Also giving double honors to the apostles, the elders that rule well, and also Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. Alright, now this is basically a video about Esau's biochemical engineering. Alright, and I'm just gonna play the video, but you know, in a nutshell, Esau is a mad scientist, alright, and he's gotta go. I'm gonna go ahead and play the video.
To take over everything, from shopping to dating and the stock market. That billions of people would be connected via a kind of web. That you would own a handheld device orders of magnitude more powerful than supercomputers. It would seem absurd, but then all of it happened. Science fiction became our reality, and we don't even think about it. We're at a similar point today with genetic engineering. So let's talk about it. Where it came from, what we're doing right now, and about a recent breakthrough that will change how we live and what we perceive as normal forever. Humans have been engineering life for thousands of years. Through selective breeding, we strengthened useful traits in plants and animals. We became very good at this, but never truly understood how it works, until we discovered the code of life, deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, a complex molecule that guides the growth, development, function, and reproduction of everything alive. Information is encoded in the structure of the molecule. 4 nucleotides are paired and make up a code that carries instructions. Change the instructions and you change the being carrying it. As soon as DNA was discovered, people tried to tinker with it. In the 1960s, scientists bombarded plants with radiation to cause random mutations in the genetic code.
Alright, so do you see that? You see how they got this, the Most High gave them this technology, basically, you know, to hang themselves, you know, because, you know, as you see, this little thing is changing. Alright, basically they're splicing genes, and they're changing, they're manipulating the DNA of organisms, right? So they're tampering with the Most High's creation.
The idea was to get a useful plant variation by pure chance. Sometimes it actually worked too. In the 70s, scientists inserted DNA snippets into bacteria, plants, and animals to study and modify them, for research, medicine, agriculture, and for fun. The earliest genetically modified animal was born in 1974, making mice a standard tool for research, saving millions of lives. In the 80s, we got commercial. The first patent was given for a microbe engineered to absorb oil. Today, we produce many chemicals by means of engineered life, like life-saving clotting factors, growth hormones, and insulin, all things we had to harvest from the organs of animals before that. The first food modified in the lab went on sale in 1994.
Right,
the Flavor Saver tomato, a tomato given a much longer shelf.
Alright, Salakia. So as you see, alright, they put these hormones in the food, alright, and they put these hormones in it to give it a longer shelf life. Alright, because food is supposed to naturally decompose. Alright, it's really not supposed to. You really, you know, the Most High set it up to where we grow our own food, where you don't have to, you know, get it from these farmers and then it's shipped and held on a truck, you know, for weeks at a time. Alright, so you know your food is meant to be grown, picked out the field, and then cooked right then and there, right? But you got Esau, you know, with these stores, man, they basically have made the shelf life of these foods a lot longer, alright? These hormones and different stuff like that.
Via an extra gene that suppressed the buildup of a rotting enzyme. But GM food and the controversy surrounding them deserve a video of their own. In the 1990s, there was also a brief foray into human engineering. To treat maternal infertility, babies were made that carried genetic information from 3 humans, making them the first humans ever to have 3 genetic parents. Today there are super-muscled pigs, fast-growing salmon, featherless chickens, and see-through frogs. On the fun side,
Alright, so you see that they're basically becoming a mad scientist. You know, Esau has that spirit, like, damn, you know, what can we do next? You know, because if you watch the video, it said, you know, a lot of it was for research and stuff, and then it also said a lot of it was for curiosity, right? So these people get in these labs, and I mean, they're like, shit, you know, what can we come up with next? What type of wickedness can we come up with next? You know, and that's Esau's spirit, just ever-ending wickedness, man. Just pushing the limits, man.
made things glow in the dark. Fluorescent zebrafish are available for as little as $10. All of this is already very impressive, but until recently, gene editing was extremely expensive, complicated, and took a long time to do. This has now changed with a revolutionary new technology now entering the stage: CRISPR. Overnight, the costs of engineering have shrunk by 99%. Instead of a year, it takes a few weeks to conduct experiments, and basically everybody with a lab can do it. It's hard to get across how big a technical revolution CRISPR is. It literally has the potential to change humanity forever. Why did this sudden revolution happen, and how does it work?
Alright, so as you see right here, alright, they're pushing to end disease. They're pushing for designer babies, right? You see this right here, future scientists, right? Eternal youth. So this is what they're basically pushing for, is to be eternal, alright, to have perfect, I guess you could say perfect human beings, or tailored, custom human beings, custom children, alright? And the end to disease, which we all know this isn't going to work. I mean, this is just Esau dreaming, basically.
Bacteria and viruses have been fighting since the dawn of life. So-called bacteriophages, or phages, hunt bacteria. In the ocean, phages kill 40% of them every single day. Phages do this by inserting their own genetic code into the bacteria and taking them over to use them as factories. The bacteria try to resist, but fail most of the time because their protection tools are too weak. But sometimes bacteria survive an attack. Only if they do so can they activate their most effective antivirus system. They save a part of the virus DNA in their own genetic code in a DNA archive called CRISPR. Here, it's stored safely until it's needed. When the virus attacks again, the bacterium quickly makes an RNA copy from the DNA archive and arms a secret weapon, a protein called Cas9. The protein now scans the bacterium's insides for signs of the virus invader by comparing every bit of DNA it finds to the sample from the archive. When it finds a 100% perfect match, it's activated and cuts out the virus DNA, making it useless, protecting the bacterium against the attack. What's special is that Cas9 is very precise, almost like a DNA surgeon. The revolution began when scientists figured out that the CRISPR system is programmable. You can just give it a copy of DNA you want to modify and put the system into a living cell. If the old techniques of genetic manipulation were like a map, CRISPR is like a GPS system. Aside from being precise, cheap, and easy, CRISPR offers the ability to edit live cells, to switch genes on and off, and target and study particular DNA sequences. It also works for every type of cell: microorganisms, plants, animals, or humans.
So I'm not gonna lie, that kind of lost me with all the science stuff, because I'm not a science major. But I mean, from what I took from that is basically they're able to hone in. They're basically able to single out a single strand of DNA, all right, and manipulate that particular characteristic. All right. Also, they were saying how the bacteria can become immune to the viruses, right? Some bacteria survive from the viruses.
But despite the revolution CRISPR is for science, it's still just a first-generation tool. more precise tools are already being created and used as we speak. In 2015, scientists used CRISPR to cut the HIV virus out of living cells from patients in the lab, proving that it was possible. Only about a year later, they carried out a larger-scale project with rats that had the HIV virus in basically all of their body cells. By simply injecting CRISPR into the rats' tails, they were able to remove more than 50% of the virus from cells all over the body. In a few decades, a CRISPR therapy might cure HIV. And other retroviruses, viruses that hide inside human DNA like herpes, could be eradicated this way. CRISPR could also defeat one of our worst enemies, cancer. Cancer occurs when cells refuse to die and keep multiplying while concealing themselves from the immune system. CRISPR gives us the means to edit your immune cells and make them better cancer hunters. Getting rid of cancer might eventually mean getting just a couple of injections of a few thousand of your own cells that have been engineered in the lab to heal you for good. The first clinical trial for a CRISPR cancer treatment on human patients was approved in early 2016 in the US. Not even a month later, Chinese scientists announced that they would treat lung cancer patients with immune cells modified with CRISPR in August 2016. Things are picking up pace quickly. And then there are genetic diseases. There are thousands of them, and they range from mildly annoying to deadly or entail decades of suffering. With a powerful tool like CRISPR, we may be able to end this. Over 3,000 genetic diseases are caused by a single incorrect letter in your DNA. We are already building a modified version of Cas9 that is made to change just a...
Now, there's something I want to bring out. We'll go into Isaiah 24 and 4. Let me get it. It's Isaiah 24. Alright. I start at 1. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistresses, as with the buyer, so with the seller. I'll skip down to 3. The land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled. For the Lord has spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. See, so Esau with his pollution and wicked devices, man, basically, you know, the earth has faded away, man. Alright. So the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, right? Because all of this technological improvements, all right, all these gene modifications, right? The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So you got these. Really, everyone pollutes the earth. Every wicked person, all right, that's a spirit that's constantly decaying the earth, just through being here, you're just living on earth and being a wicked person. You're really polluting because you're putting out wicked spirits. You're putting out those vibrations, man, which is constantly destroying the earth, decaying. So, and it says because they have transgressed the law. So that's the proof on that. It's because you're wicked. You're not keeping the laws, right? And because going back to the genetically modified organisms, there's laws on how to treat the land, right? Because you're supposed to keep the land Sabbath, which Esau doesn't keep. All right, and there's certain things that you're supposed to treat the earth, man. Right, the so-called Native Americans, right, the Gadites, right, they were heavy into nature and agriculture, right, and they also knew herbs. They knew certain herbs. You see, Esau, they got to go into these. Esau has to go into these, CRISPR or whatever it is. All right, and try to get rid of the diseases that way. But really, all they gotta do is get certain herbs, that pretty much do the same thing they're trying to do now, but they're just trying to find an alternate route, right? They're trying to do it their own way, right? Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, a few men left. That's right, because the elect, we're the few men left. You know, Lord willing, be of that number, right? But we're the few men left. All right. So that brings me to my next precept, which is my laptop's getting ready to die. I'm gonna try to finish this lesson within that time. This is Salakia. Numbers 35 and 24. Wait. Salakia, I got the wrong one. Salakia. Okay. Numbers 35, 34. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall, I'm gonna start at 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, right? Because and that's what Esau is doing, man. They're polluting the same earth that they gotta live on. That just goes to show you how diabolical they are. They're self-destructing, man, because they're willing to sacrifice their own health just to bring everyone else down. All right, and really this is talking about blood. All right, because this is a law given to the Israelites, right? It says, "For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein." Which that's also talking about the land of America, right? Because how was this land inhabited? It was inhabited from bloodshed. So this land is still dirty, man, and Esau still has blood on his hands. But by the blood of him that shed it, defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell. Alright, so you're not supposed to defile the earth, man. You know, and this is Esau's devices on basically just destroying everything, man.
Fixing the disease in the cell. In a decade or two, we could possibly cure thousands of diseases forever. But all of these medical applications have one thing in common. They are limited to the individual and die with them, except if you use them on reproductive cells or very early embryos. But CRISPR can and probably will be used for much more. The creation of modified humans, designer babies, and will mean gradual but irreversible changes to the human gene pool. The means to edit the genome of a human embryo already exist, though the technology is still in its early stages, but it has already been attempted twice. In 2015 and 2016, Chinese scientists experimented with human embryos and were partially successful on their second attempt. They showed the enormous challenges we still face in gene editing embryos, but also that scientists are working on solving them. This is like the computer in the 70s. There will be better computers. Regardless of your personal take on genetic engineering, it will affect you. Modified humans could alter the genome of our entire species because their engineered traits will be passed on to their children and could spread over generations, slowly modifying the whole gene pool of humanity. It will start slowly. The first designer babies will not be overly designed. It's most likely that they will be created to eliminate a deadly genetic disease running in a family. As the technology...
Alright, so as you see, they did say, I don't know if y'all caught that, but they did say that it's going to affect you one way or another because DNA is something that's passed on. So all it takes is one so-called designer baby, and next thing you know, that genetic engineered DNA is going to be prevalent, all right, among society, and I think it's going to have a reverse effect. I think it's gonna have a lot of defects. You're gonna have a lot of bugged out people, all right, because it's not natural, right? You got Esau just fucking with human DNA, man.
And gets more refined, more and more people may argue that not using genetic modification is unethical because it condemns children to preventable suffering and death and denies them the cure. But as soon as the first engineered kid is born, a door is opened that can't be closed anymore. Early on, vanity traits will mostly be left alone, but as genetic modification becomes more accepted and our knowledge of our genetic code enhances, the temptation will grow. If you make your offspring immune to Alzheimer, why not also give them an enhanced metabolism? Why not throw in perfect eyesight? How about height or muscular structure? Full hair? How about giving your child the gift of extraordinary intelligence? Huge changes are made as a result of the personal decisions of millions of individuals
All right,
that
and those
accumulate.
hormones.
This is a slippery slope.
Did you see the swole child, man? The swole teenager? Those hormones are gonna, like I said, they're gonna have a reverse effect, man. All right, because you're gonna try to do all that and make a superhuman, so to speak. All right, but like I said, it's gonna be some type of social or mental thing. There's gonna be something missing out of it, right? But also, what was I gonna say? Um, it's just too much, man. Right? Esau is trying to manipulate everything. You got those swole. That's what I was gonna say. You got these swole ass, big animals and cows, muscled cows, and that shit just doesn't look natural, man. You don't even want to eat that, man. So Esau is gonna create one of these damn designer babies to just be unnatural, man.
Find humans could become the new standard.
And if I could say this, people are already fake, man. People are already getting all that plastic surgery. So this is something you people are gonna buy into because you're constantly trying to enhance yourself to look perfect. You got bitches, perfect. You got bitches putting on the makeup and getting extensions and you know that whole quest to be perfect is at an all-time high. Bitches changing their nose, getting their ass and tits done, right? You people, you really out of doing that, out of you're really rejecting the Most High, man, because you're really saying because the Most High made you perfect in your own way. All right, He made you a specific way for a reason. Everything has a purpose. So basically, by you changing that, you're basically slapping the Most High in the face, man.
But as engineering becomes more normal and our knowledge improves, we could solve the single biggest mortality risk factor, aging. 2/3 of the 150,000 people who die today will die of age-related causes. Currently, we think aging is caused by the accumulation of damage to our cells, like DNA breaks and the systems responsible for fixing those wearing off over time. But there are also genes that directly affect aging. A combination of genetic engineering and other therapy could stop or slow down aging, maybe even reverse it. We know from nature that there are animals immune to aging. Maybe we could even borrow a few genes for ourselves. Some scientists even think biological aging could be something that eventually just stops being a thing. We would still die at some point, but instead of doing so in hospitals at age 90, we might be able to spend a few thousand years with our loved ones. Research into this is in its infancy, and many scientists are rightly skeptical about the end of aging. The challenges are enormous, and maybe it is unachievable. But it is conceivable that people alive today might be the first to profit from effective anti-aging therapy. All we might need is for someone to convince a smart billionaire
Alright, I don't know what happened to the sound, Slack here, but I mean, that's pretty much it on the video. You pretty much get it. Pretty much get the point of what they're trying to do. All right, Esau is very diabolical and self-destructive, and he's got to go because the constant pollution of the earth, just the constant just wickedness, man. Trying to live forever. All right, everything that Esau is doing, man, he's got to go. All right, but that's pretty much it on that. Oh, one thing I want to say too is that they're ahead. They're telling you this now, but they've already been doing this, man. They probably already on to this stuff.